Costar trabajo. Costar trabajo. This is a really good phrase. That means to be difficult or to take effort. When something is too difficult or is just difficult, or when something takes effort to do. So this is a phrase that means that. And let me tell you that costar is a very interesting verb because it means quite a few things. Costar means to cost. When talking about money, if you want to say, for example, how much is this, you can say, ¿cuánto cuesta esto? Cuesta, that's the verb costar, conjugated, of course, but costar can also mean to be difficult or to require effort. So this is a really peculiar verb for sure. Trabajo means work. Okay, it also means job. So this is another word that has two meanings. As a phrase, costar trabajo, as I told you before, it means to be difficult, to take effort. Let's look at some examples using this phrase. Me costó trabajo entender ese concepto. Me costó trabajo entender ese concepto. This means it took some effort for me to understand that concept. It could also mean it was difficult for me to understand that concept. So that's what we're saying. It was hard, it wasn't easy. I had a bit of a difficulty even. That's what this sentence means. Now let's break this down. Let's see how this sentence works. Me is a reflexive pronoun that means I, me, and also myself. So you can use reflexive pronouns with this phrase. You can say te costó trabajo, me costó trabajo, les costó trabajo. So you can use reflexive pronouns with this. Even though it doesn't say se here, costarse trabajo, sometimes se is not there to let you know that you can use reflexive pronouns. But I gotta say almost 99% of verbs can work really well with reflexive pronouns. Okay, so let's continue. Costó trabajo. Me costó trabajo. That phrase right there means it took some effort for me, or it took me some effort to do something. Let's include to as well, because you're adding more to the sentence. So me costó trabajo can mean it took some effort for me to ... or it took me some effort to ... Entender, understand. Entender is a verb that means to understand. Yo entiendo, tú entiendes, él entiende, nosotros entendemos, and so on. So this is a very, very, very good, very useful Spanish verb. Ese means that. Ese is masculine, by the way. It can be feminine. You can say esa. But it's masculine because we have a masculine noun. Concepto. El concepto. That is a masculine noun. That's why we need ese. Concepto means concept. So the last word is very similar. The English one and the Spanish one, they're pretty similar. You just need to add an O at the end, and there you have it. Concept, concepto. Okay? Excellent. Me costó trabajo entender ese concepto. It took some effort for me to understand that concept. Excellent. Let's look at the next example. Nos costó trabajo convencerlo. Nos costó trabajo convencerlo. This means it was difficult to convince him. Now we're talking about someone having a hard time to convince another person. Let's break this down and see how this sentence works. Nos is a reflexive pronoun and it means us or ourselves. Sometimes it means we. In this situation, we don't have either word here. We don't have we don't have ourselves, we don't have us. Essentially, we're talking about some people who had a difficult time or it took some effort for them to do something, okay? So, nos costó trabajo. It's similar to saying it was difficult for us, okay? It was difficult or it was difficult for us to do something. Convencerlo. Convencer is a verb that means to convince. Okay? Nos costó trabajo can also mean it was difficult to do something. Okay? So in this situation, convencer, convince. Lo is also a very, very peculiar word in Spanish. It has several uses. It could be a pronoun, and it could mean him or it. And you can attach it to verbs. When you say convencerlo means convince him. In this situation, nos costó trabajo convencerlo. It was difficult to convince him. Excellent. Remember, costar trabajo means to be difficult or to take effort. Share more examples using costar trabajo. Also, like this lesson if you enjoyed it, if you learned some Spanish. Thanks for watching. Adios. I want to give a big shout out to our Cafecito members: Christopher Michael, Ruby Brockenberry, Brianna L, Michael Lee, Regulation D, Hanko Juan, Christine Mache, Washti Bader, Formula Air, JSE, and Alan K. If you want to support this channel and buy me a cup of coffee, please check out the Cafecito membership by clicking on the join button down below. Muchas gracias.